Yes guys, what's going on? It's Ashton here. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you the updated version of the Legends tier list. The last time I did this on the channel, the video did absolutely insane and is currently the most popular video on the channel. So I thought I'd bring you back a version 2 for the new updates and changes that have happened to the Legends since the last video. But before we get into today's video, I want to say a massive special announcement, which is that today we've got our first sponsors ever on the channel. So a massive thank you to them for sponsoring the video today. You're going to see who it is in just a few seconds, but it is really exciting for the future of the channel. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Bam! There it is. Raid Shadow Legends is an RPG turn-based game where you build a team of champions, level them up, and fight other players and bosses. Now, while I tell you about the game, make sure to check the links in the description to download Raid for yourself on a mobile device or PC. That's right, Raid is cross-device now. So the first thing I want to do is crack open this mystery shard and get a new champion. Okay, let's see who we got. Oh my god, it's Steve. Well, at least he looks like a Steve. Hi Steve. You do be looking like an egg though. You can keep track of all of your champions in the index. As you can see here, our egg boy was part of the Sacred Order faction. Now, after all of this, you've got your champions, you've leveled them up, you're ready to battle, and you can choose the campaign mode for that easy XP, or you can even battle online in the arena, or even in the brand new tag team arena feature. Now, what is the tag team arena, you may be asking? Well, let me tell you, it's like the classic arena, a classic 4v4, except this time with the twist that it is not just one battle, but it is the best of 3. Whoever wins 2 of the 3 battles is going to win the series. And since it's brand new, the developers are going to be giving out some awesome rewards to those of you who can climb highest up on the rankings. Make sure you use the links in the description below to download Raid to your mobile device or PC today. If you're a new player, you will receive a welcome pack with 500,000 silver, 50 gems, 10 mystery shards, and a brand new Executioner champion for free. Now look how cool he is. That's just so sick. You'll be able to find all of these cool rewards in your inbox for the next 30 days. But with all that being said guys, let's get right into the video. So guys, since the last tier list video, which also happens to be the most popular video on the channel by the way.
Thanks for that.
We have had a lot of changes come to Apex Legends because we've had the Lost Treasures update, which actually changed the meta of the game quite a bit, as we saw a lot of buffs and nerfs come into play with that update, including an entire rework to the way that Lifeline works. So as always with these tier lists, we're going to be starting off with D, the worst tier of Legend in Apex Legends, and this time round there's only one Legend in this tier, and I think you can all guess who this is going to be. Yep, it's Octane. Now don't get me wrong, Octane can be fun to play in pubs sometimes, but someone has to come in the bottom tier, and for me there is no worse Legend in Apex Legends than Octane. With the Lost Treasures update, Octane received a speed boost for his stim, and also a double jump ability on his jump pad. However, in my opinion, that still doesn't bring his performance level up in-game. For me, Octane's abilities don't benefit him enough or the team enough to make him a viable choice for rank play, and even in pubs, his abilities don't give me anything that another Legend can't give me, but even better. For example, Bangalore gets her speed boost when she's shot at, which is when you really want to be speed boosting anyway, and Pathfinder can get the height on grapples and ziplines, so Octane for me is a little bit redundant and needs a rework in my opinion. But moving on up into the C tier now, we have 2 Legends in this tier this time around, and that is going to be Loba and Mirage. Loba is a Legend that I believe needs a little bit of a buff personally. Now, she's very buggy in World's Edge at the moment. Even post-patch, there are still lots of problems where her bracelet is not working at all, and for me that's a major setback. Even with her bracelet working, for me she is a little bit underpowered. She gets the distance on her bracelet, which is really nice for travelling fast, but of course she has the animation at the end, which is a setback for her, whereas a Pathfinder for example can pull out his gun mid-grapple, so he can get that same distance without the animation of the bracelet having to go back on his wrist like Loba does. And for her ultimate, I do believe Loba needs a little bit of a buff in this department, because 2 items of loot is really nice. However, the time it takes for the ultimate to charge, and the fact that ultimate accelerants don't even give it that much of a boost compared to other ultimates, for me it needs to be brought up a little bit to be on a level playing field with other Legends in the game. Maybe Loba herself can loot 1 or 2 more items than her teammates from the ultimate. That would make sense, as she is supposed to be the expert thief anyway. And for me, Mirage personally is not a legend which is inherently bad, but I think he has an extremely high skill gap, and a very good player has to be behind the controller or MK depending on what platform you play, for him to be any use at all for the team, because his abilities of course all revolve around himself. Now that's not to say that none of his abilities help the team, because of course now he has been buffed and he does have the invisible revive animation and invisible animation when he is calling in a respawn ship. But for me, Mirage is not going to help the team in any seriously bad situations, and unless he's one-on-one with someone, or perhaps in a 2v1, his abilities really aren't going to help the team all that much, and in some cases, I would argue most cases, they don't even help him that much. But moving on swiftly now into the B tier, we have another 2 legends this time around. We have Crypto and Bloodhound. Crypto is a legend I believe is firmly in the meta right now. He's being used a lot more than we've seen in previous seasons, and for good reason. He's actually been a lot of fun to play. When used effectively, Crypto can really help you push a third party, or even defend off a team if they're pushing you, if you have the drone set up and ready, and the ultimate is also ready. And honestly, his ultimate is Crypto's main attraction. He is so powerful when you're pushing a fight to crack all of the shields in the surrounding area and really give you that upper hand when you're jumping on a team. His passive ability to be able to see how many squads are in the area on his drone on nearby banners is absolutely massive, and that is not to forget also that he can also pick up banners of teammates who have already died when he's in his drone. For me, Crypto could even be an A tier if he had a few more abilities that didn't revolve solely around using his drone. Perhaps they could change his passive so that he can see how many nearby squads are in the area without having to go on his drone. For me, that would be absolutely incredible, and that would really bring up Crypto's worth up into A tier and perhaps even S tier, who knows. Bloodhound is one of the ultimate assets an aggressive team can have. The scan is in a perfect place right now. It lingers for around 2 to 3 seconds, and that is just enough if you're pushing a fight, just to know where the enemies are, and you can push in exactly knowing which way to look, and you're ready to fight them. And honestly, having a Bloodhound on the team when you play in this aggressive style is absolutely massive. Now, Bloodhound's ultimate is also really strong. For me, the audio on it needs to be turned down a notch, because you can hear an ulting Bloodhound coming from a mile away, and perhaps they could turn down the speed a little bit on the Bloodhound ultimate, but that's not too bad. I don't really mind it too much. But geez, when you're chasing a Bloodhound whose ultimate is active and they're running away, you are not going to be catching up. But overall, Bloodhound is certainly a solid legend to have on the team if you're playing in an aggressive playstyle. Offers nothing defensively, but that's not too bad. I think honestly you just have to play Bloodhound in the right way to take all of their utilities and maximize the potential with this legend. Now, coming on into A tier, we have a ton of legends up in this A tier. For me, these are all legends that I would have no problem playing with in any game mode, be it ranked or pubs. For me, these legends are all viable and extremely useful in their own ways. So this time around, we have Lifeline, Caustic, Watson, Revenant, Bangalore, and Pathfinder. Since her rework, for me, Lifeline is in a far better place than she was before. Of course, the loss of fast heals is really sad for those Lifeline mains, but the ability to revive teammates and also shoot at the same time is just so massive, and the fact that there is no cooldown on this as well, so you can just spam revives as many times as it takes for your teammate to be revived, especially if you're in a tough situation trying to defend a building, for example. This is absolutely massive. Caustic and Watson are on here as the defensive legends, and honestly, they are both just as good as each other right now. I think Caustic received a small nerf to his gas barrels where they can be shot whilst they are inflating, which is a needed change, but maybe not as strong of a change as he needed, as his gas ultimate in the end rings is still absolutely unbeatable if you don't have a Caustic on the team. And Watson of course has her pylons, which are strong in their own way, but mainly her ultimate is in a much better place now, where it doesn't last forever anymore, but she can carry more ultimate accelerants and put down more of her ultimate pylons. And honestly, for me, this is a better way of Watson working, and I think it still can be used very effectively. I moved Bangalore up into A tier, but because personally, having rethought about where she is and how she plays, I really do believe she is one of the top legends in the game. The speed boost when you're shot at can be used aggressively and defensively to get away from a fight, but also get further into the enemy's faces and make it much harder for you to hit while you're strafing and crouch spamming. The smoke can be used offensively and defensively to cover yourself or to cover a team. If they're on high ground, you can shoot the smoke at them so they're not going to be able to see you. And also her ultimate is really good at pushing teams away. If they're trying to third party you, you can chuck the ultimate down, and sure, it's not going to deal hundreds of damage, but it's definitely going to deter them from pushing you for a few moments. And usually in Apex, all you need is a few moments to heal or to get away from a fight if you're in a weak position. Now, despite the grapple cooldown time nerf that Pathfinder received, rest in peace my boy Pathfinder by the way, he is still an A tier legend in my opinion. The opportunities he gives for the team to take any high ground across the map that they want is absolutely understated, to say the least, and I think more people will go back to playing Pathfinder in the near future when they realise how important positioning is in this game. Throw a gold helmet on your boy Pathfinder and he is going to be so much fun to use in the game. Of course, that lowers his cooldown time for his grapple by a small amount. I think around 27 seconds or 28 seconds it goes to. So that's just about bearable for me. And honestly, that is where it should be basically all the time without gold helmet. But for me, I think Pathfinder is still an A tier legend. He can be used offensively to attack teams and defensively to get away from a fight. It's exactly what you need on a team in my opinion, and yes, he is an A tier legend. Now you may have noticed I saved Revenant till last, and that's because I don't like Revenant. I don't think anyone likes Revenant. He can just get off the game in my opinion, but I'd be wrong if I said that Revenant is not an A tier legend, because he really is in his current state. Obviously Revenant's main draw is his ultimate, a free push with 100 health, and you're going to go back to the totem with at least 50 HP and your full shields. That's massive. That is so unbelievably strong in itself, because when you put a good team into a Revenant ultimate, if you all focus the same person, you're going to get at least one down with it, and if you can get the finish, then it's instantly a 2v3 scenario, and at that point, if you're good enough, you're probably going to win anyway. When you're holding down a building with Revenant, you can use his ultimate defensively to push out against your attackers when they're trying to push you, and also you can use the silence ability to put it in doorways, so if the team decides to push you, they have to run through the silence, which means they're not going to be able to use their abilities, which more often than not can really help swing the fight in your favour if you're fighting it against a Wraith, Gibraltar, or even a Pathfinder for example. They're not going to be able to use any of those abilities that they have, which makes them so strong, so you're going to be in a much stronger position. I'm going to keep the rest of my opinions about Revenant to myself, but I'd be lying if I said he is not an A tier legend right now, because truly, Revenant is a top legend in the current meta in Apex Legends Season 5. But that leaves us with the S tier. Guess who's in it? Once again, it's just Wraith and Gibby. I'm not going to beat around the bush this time, guys. These are still the two strongest legends in the game, and I don't think they're ever going to be taken from this pedestal. Wraith, even with her nerf to her phase, nerf buff, buff nerf, it's kind of just a change I guess, because they buffed her in some ways, nerfed her in other ways. For me, this is just a thing you have to adapt to. It's not a massive change. It's still the same basic ability with a minor tweak to it, in the fact that it takes longer to activate, and you're going to be in phase mode for a second longer, and you're going to be much faster, so for me that's a win-win in my opinion. Of course her portals are her main draw still. The rotation capability with Wraith, even though they have changed the distance that her portal can reach, it's still a good distance for rotating in ranked for example, and it can be used in many scenarios to help get your team into better positions. Of course, also having the smallest hitbox in the game is big for Wraith as well, as it makes her that much harder to hit than other legends, and especially when you get an aggressive Wraith in your face, it can be really difficult to deal with them sometimes. Now, Gibraltar is what I would describe as a toolbox of a legend. He has everything in his locker. He's got the offensive capability of his ultimate, but also defensive capability with his ultimate as well, as you can use it to cover yourself or to attack a team and deal some high damage. He has the bubble, which can be used offensively to help push out of a tricky situation into a new position, but also defensively to cover yourself and to have the fast heal and fast revive capability that he has as well. How many abilities does this legend need? I mean seriously, He also has the 50 HP arm shield to help him cover for the fact that he is just such a large character. But if you get Gibby in a nice head glitch or surrounded by 2 teammates, it doesn't matter how big he is because he's going to get the cover from them. So for me, his size really doesn't matter because what he does bring to the table far outweighs the small setback of being a large hitbox. But guys, there you have it, the full updated tier list for you here on screen. There it is, the entirety of the tier list. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content from your boy. But until next time guys, it's been your boy Ashton and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy and goodbye.